it's Renee at Saving a Dime at a Time. I'm sitting by my Christmas tree because today is the last day that we get to enjoy it. And we're going to take our tree down tomorrow. Every year we chop our own tree down at a tree nursery farm. And some years we get really pretty trees and some years they're not as pretty. This year I think we got the prettiest tree we've ever had. Anyway, I'm going to sit beside the tree and enjoy it and talk about Super Sunday. So this week for Super Sunday, I decided to make Italian wedding soup. The nice thing about the Italian wedding soup is it makes a huge pot and you can eat it all week for lunch or have it for a quick dinner if you want. This might age me a little, but have you heard the phrase, it's time to make the donuts? Well, it's time to make the meatballs. Here are the ingredients for the meatballs. It calls for ground beef, ground pork, but I have this in my freezer, so I'm going to use it. It's Italian sausage, Parmesan cheese, salt, pepper, fresh parsley. Again, I don't have it, so I'm going to use dried. An onion, garlic. It called for white bread. I'm going to use up this leftover hamburger bun. And 1 egg. And that's all the ingredients for the meatballs. Oh my goodness, you guys, that is the stoutest onion I have ever chopped. So I have tears streaming down my face. I took this grater instead of dicing the onions. I grated them. That way you wouldn't taste them in your meatball as much. So I crumbled up the bun and put that in there. And now I'm going to add my spices to this. That is 1 heaping teaspoon of garlic, about a half a teaspoon salt, half a teaspoon of pepper, and I added 2 teaspoons of parsley to that. Now I'm going to add my egg and a half of a cup of Parmesan cheese. And I'm going to mix this up. I'm going to use my hands. I know some people don't like that, but it does not bother me. And then I'm going to form it into little tiny meatballs. I figure I have to use my hands for the meatballs. Although if you have one of those little scoops, that'd be good. So I've pretty much got this mixed. And now I'm going to take and make, I've been taking these bigger pieces of onions out because I don't want those. I'm going to make little tiny meatballs. Pretty much want bite-sized meatballs. About like that. Maybe even a little smaller. And I'm going to put those all on a tray. And those are going to go in our soup. It's going to be delicious. I decided to bake my meatballs in the oven before I put them in the soup because I didn't want all the grease to go in my soup. So I'm going to bake these on 350 for probably 20 to 30 minutes. And then I will put them in my soup when they're all done. I'm going to start to make my soup. Look how nice the sun is shining through my window. We enjoy that in Minnesota. We don't see that too often. So I'm going to start by adding some onions and celery that I've diced. And I'm going to add some carrots too. I'm going to cook those until they're nice and soft. I have 12 cups of my homemade broth that I have defrosted, and I'm going to add that to my pot of soup. Let's see if I can do this one-handed. I know I can do this one. So there's my broth. I'm going to add the other one. It's 12 cups total. And let it simmer and let the vegetables continue to soften. So the soup is almost done. I'm going to add to the broth these little tiny pastas. They're called acini di pepe. And I'm going to throw in my meatballs. Woo! I'm going to let that cook a little bit. Look how good that looks. I'm going to let that cook about 15 minutes. That is a big pot of soup. It's going to be delicious. Here, I wanted to show you what this pasta looks like. It's just a regular Cremettes brand. And it's called acini di pepe, I believe. So my pasta is pretty much done. So I'm going to throw this fresh spinach in and stir that in. That just kind of gives it a pretty color for one thing, but makes it kind of fresh. And then this is the part that's kind of unique. This is 2 eggs beaten and 2 tablespoons of Parmesan cheese. And I'm just going to kind of stir that in. And it just gives it kind of a, I don't know, creamy. You can see the eggs in there. And I'm probably going to let it cook for about another 5 minutes, and this will be ready to eat. Looks delicious, doesn't it? Here is the soup, and I want to thank everybody for watching my Super Sunday video. And now I'm going to go eat this delicious Italian wedding soup with my family. Remember to like and subscribe to my videos so I know you want more Super Sunday videos. And I'll see you next week.